So recording is starting now, and feel free. We have over an hour, so you can keep messing up whatever your introductions and your exits. Absolutely fine. I'll edit it out later. All right. Let me leave this time because last time I was still visible. Chalo, bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Start.
No, no, no. Now let's start here.
Yep. Start. Hi, Radhika. Hello, everybody. This is our second episode, and yes, the excitement rides very, very high even now, and I am sure it will continue till the very end, till eternity, because every time we think of a topic, there is so much to discuss, there is so much to share, and our my 3.5 year decades of experience, and Radhika's decades put together, we have about 5, 6 decades of experience that's waiting to burst into expression, right? Even as we are talking about it, I was just reminded of a small incident. This was about 15 years back when I was the head of a school, and I was on leave for a couple of days, I think. And then as I came out of my office on when I resumed office and I stepped out of my room, there was this girl who was from grade 8 or 9, and suddenly she stood in the corner. Oh, ma'am, you're back. I said, yes. What really took me by surprise was that they were very alert to the fact, the child was very alert to the fact that the principal was on leave and now she was back. And I didn't think that, I always felt that children relate more to the teacher, right? Because the teacher is the first point of contact in a school, and the principal is always the little, what to say, oh, the big bad wolf, where the children are frightened. Correct. Correct. Critical principal's office. And I was so happy, and that child's glee or the smile or whatever you call it, it has stayed on in my memory for so long. And I always look back and say, wow, a principal really also is in a child's mind when the child comes to school. And rightly placed in the child's memory and mind, and not like the big bad wolf. So I thought I must share this because it's one of the very pleasant memories of mine, of my principal years. Mm. I was looking at talking about the case, making a case for professional development, right? All of us have come with years of what to say, academic qualification. We have come in with some kind of training also. It's a B.Ed or a D.Ed, or we have done our masters. Yet when it comes into the classroom, everything changes, right? Every little situation changes. It all depends upon the children, the dynamics in the classroom, and the teachers, the student, and the school, and the entire ecosystem. So the ability to do the right thing at the right time and for the right reason is about understanding your situation and your own agency, your own goals, and crucially your options. In other words, it is your situational awareness. So all your training and all your qualifications will help you if you also understand that you are on the stage now and you are going to perform, right? You have to have that situational awareness. So I think this is where I wanted to start this conversation. Huh. The NEP, yeah, NEP has related 50 hours. I think yes, yes. It will make their profession a little more serious, and also it will also get the public to look at the profession more seriously. Currently, what's happening is that the teaching profession is not looked at very seriously, right? It's not one of the first choices, or even the first 10 choices of many children, right? It's happening like we discussed in the earlier podcast. It happens very little by design, more by chance. Okay. Of course, I want my teachers to be passionate about their subject. Of course, we want them to have intrinsic motivation, but we cannot rest only on a very specific subjective element. It's important for them to have the right knowledge, the right skills, and the techniques to be able to teach well. And like you said, licensing and constantly asking them to renew them will help them be on top of their game. And I really feel that yes, there's never a dull moment for a teacher, given that she has around 40 students in the class and each one taking her by surprise in so many different ways. I think it's all my empathies for the teacher in the classroom. She was flustered. So this would have completely put her lesson planning, on the back burner, and here she has to bring out her decision making skills, quick thinking, on her feet thinking, and then know what strategies to deploy, so that she doesn't fail in the eyes of the other students. I know it maybe have been a prank played by a student, but allowing that to be acknowledged at the same time, being sure how I want to take forward my class, in spite of this. I think there's a lot on the plate of the teacher. A smart teacher, an astute teacher, good decision making skills, like we just said, knowledge, skills. Now, very good decision making is very important. Understanding what strategy to pick up at what time, and I like that we use umbrella term, situational awareness. I think all this is something which a woman who wears many hats. A teacher is a woman like Durga who has 8 arms, right? She needs to. There's something which will grow every minute for her. If she has to survive, right? If she has to survive, something has to grow up from somewhere every minute. Right. Yeah. Hmm. will, they will. From exposure. I know. So what we Well, I think one is training which we have to ask the teachers to seek and request, This is what I wish to do. We can offer them a bucket list of, uh, trainings that we can offer. And also what I think works very, very well is putting a coach and mentor in place for every teacher. And so when the coach, the mentor that we have appointed for each teacher, and perhaps each coach has about 4 to 5 teachers, and so she's kind of very minutely, without intervening too much, without interfering too much, she's closely observing the growth and development of a rookie teacher, a brand new teacher, or even a seasoned teacher. Right? Everybody needs a little polish and push. So, if these kind of conversations are held, and it is held at a more at a coach level, that will bring about a lot of difference. And so- mm. So here I feel that if we develop an ecosystem of support and scaffolding in this manner, I think we should be able to put to rest some of the insecurity. I have a feeling that, and I have also seen that in many top premium institutions, right? Normally, a head of the institution an expert in a subject is also always shadowed by 4 or 5, students. They are very closely watching the teacher or their professor, and they are learning a lot. And then after their sessions are done, they do have these kind of group meetings, huddles, where they discuss every little thing. So it is a mutual scenario, a symbiotic thing for the coach as well as for the people who are getting mentored by that coach. We have to develop this culture. We have to develop this culture. See, if it doesn't exist, we must set it up. If it's already there, we have to perfect it. Hmm. Yes. Mhm. That's why I felt in the case for a coach or a mentor. I will, it's okay you enroll in one of these MOOCs, but okay, at the end of the day, you have to become accountable to your coach or your mentor. That will kind of address what you are suggesting. At the same time, the point that you made about inset or job embedded training is on the timetable itself, it has to be mandated. Cannot pack a teacher's timetable end to end with teaching periods and other responsibilities and non-creative work also sometimes. However, I feel that kind of work also can be done only by the teacher because she is in charge of so many children. Yet, we will have to lighten the load of the teacher so that we build in this. And this is an equally important component of teachers timetable. So if even if it's at the rate 80-20 also I'm okay with, or 75-25 also will be a good ratio. Because if the teacher is not learning on the job, then you can find her redundant in a few months. Children are far ahead in the game. Hmm. Correct. Yeah. So that brings to my mind some very pleasant memories of my early teaching days. I was a very passionate teacher. I came into it by chance, not by choice, like I mentioned last time. Very reluctantly, I stepped into the area of teaching. However, I stayed and I also did a good job of it. That's why I was able to kind of rise up the rungs of the ladder. Yeah, when I think back of my days, I remember I was very passionate and I had this strong intrinsic motivation. I used to love teaching the children. There was a lot of work I carried home by choice again. It was not forced upon me. Why? Because I felt that, see, making a question paper was a very, very creative task, right? And I needed to put my mind and thought process into it. And also preparing my lesson plans was again a very creative thing. I had to design my lessons carefully. I would love to do it carefully. And so I realized that I was not able to do it in the staff room or sitting in the school library. I needed the me time and me space. So after everything was done at home and the children were sent to bed and I had the house to myself, a quiet house to myself, I would sit and work on the question papers and I would sit and work on the lesson planning. I'm just telling you, it's sometimes important that we carry. Why I used to carry work home. I'm not justifying it. It's okay that if people have got that kind of comfort in your school environment, perfectly good. I used to feel very comfortable bringing it home and sitting with my own self and thinking, oh, this is how I want it to go. And so this is how I will plan it. So I need a special time to do that planning. I cannot sit in the midst of chaos in school. The children going up, coming down, the bell ringing, and the teachers walking into the staff room. It's suddenly tea time, then it's break time, then it's dispersal time. I was not able to do it that way. Correct. Right. Question. So on stencils, that it had to go to. Correct. Hmm. Something very important. Now, see, a culture setting. If I want to talk about culture setting, it is a very generic thing, right? Induction and orientation, everybody has to go through. Culture setting, alignment with the vision and mission of the school, that's something which are very generic and every teacher has to go through, right? Yeah. Hmm. Correct. Correct. And like your assessments, that's very generic. One doesn't have to make it very subject specific. Then setting question papers, some amount of it is very common, some amount of it specific. So we will have to identify what is common and what is specific. And I also, I would, I really feel one thing which is very important is that we must have an academic research team in a school with a team of about 4 to 5 people, who are, their only job is to moderate all this, so that we take it very seriously and deliver it also equally seriously. There should be this academic research team, at least 2 people dedicated to the foundational years, 2 people dedicated to the preparatory years, and others were sitting with the senior school and the senior secondary school. They are moderating the question papers, they are guiding the teachers, they are helping them out. So that the teachers find that kind of scaffolding at every level, and we are able to maintain quality output. Correct. Conversations, yes. Online shopping. Hmm. Yes. I also remember one school I visited, this is about 5 to 7 years back. I was interested in understanding how that particular chain of schools is operating and how they are managing their standardization. And I went to their flagship school in Gurgaon. And I was very happy to see one thing is that there are walls on the ground floor, right? That is a place where parents also walk in. And the entire wall, the bulletin boards on the ground floor, had only pedagogy conversations, different techniques, different strategies, uh, challenges faced. And it was a sport set up by the teachers, for the teachers, of the teachers, and by the teachers. And I thought that was splendid, because see, that is where parents are coming in and they're also watching what the school is talking about. We put up a lot of content which is created by the children, or we put out printouts, make it very colorful and all that. But I thought this was a very, very intelligent way of directing the what to say, the conversations in the school. When they had this entire ground floor, all the bulletin boards had these lovely conversations about how they were delivering the content. So it's very important that, yeah, we have to make a case for academic research skills in in our teachers. It is very important. Otherwise, it's just some content written by somebody which they are delivering in the classroom, right? Unless I understand, I rationalize it, I am able to analyze the content that I'm talking about. I am up, on top of the game as far as the latest that's happening in that particular field. I don't think I have equipped myself well for the student. I'm not doing justice to the child who is waiting to hear from me. So academic research skills is a very, very important component, and I think we need to instill it into the system in some way or the other, and that is why I'm also making this case for an academic research team, which is the resource in the resource room, make available all these things, and these five or six people are running the academic research team, and we, as a part of that, what are instilling academic research skills in in the teachers should be one of the prime areas of focus. What do you think? Correct. Hmm. The rest. Okay. We need we have to move out of this business of plotting marks, answering the parent for marks, justifying why the child has not gotten a couple of marks. It is important, when I'm asking, taking an assessment, it's important for the child to be prepared and should be performing. But however, I realized that the ladder was against the wrong wall when I was in school, ever since, even after when I was in school as a teacher. And it continues to be like that even today. So, in the 40, 50 years that we are talking about, the ladder is still against the wrong wall. What is it? Either the society's expectations have not shifted, or the expectations have shifted, but the comfort lies in sending a child to school and taking answerability from the school, saying, how has my child performed? And why is he not getting 20 on 20? Why has he gotten 18 on 20? Rather than focusing on what is it that the child knows. He probably knows certain things much better than what was asked in the question paper. Right? On that particular day, the question paper did not ask a certain question which he knew very well. Otherwise, he would have answered, maybe the child would have answered that question very well, and maybe he would have gotten 20 on 20, and this question wouldn't have come up at all. So, it is about reorienting parent expectations, reorienting the expectations of the school also. What is it that we unit? also, subtly and overtly, both ways, you know. So bad. When you turn back, 10th was the least of the problems, right? And parents know this. Parents know this. But they want the children to score very high. I ever turn back and ask the parent, how much did you score in the 10th? Or how much did you score in 12th that you are expecting your child? तभी तो हम चाह रहे हैं कि अभी तो अच्छा कर ले, अभी तो अच्छा कर ले. मैंने कहा आपने अच्छा नहीं किया. And you want to foist your expectations on your child's report card? How fair is that to the child who wants to live his life? Very, it's a very individual person driven system, right? You maybe strike it very well with a certain set of students. The same teacher may have issues in another set of students, right? There's no one formula that fits everything. What you can do is on the basis of experience and the basis of like expertise gained and the basis of exposure, we can put them into a certain category. However, we cannot measure them against marks. We should not do it. It is criminal. It is criminal. We are getting uh, you can put marks to this. You cannot. I am telling you, this is something which is criminal, and I have seen it happening in many places, and people just don't want to understand, or they have not understood yet, or they feel that let's try it out, you know, because that's the way the corporate world is going, and so put every marks to everything and measure a teacher's delivery. It doesn't happen like that. And you know, very often the children will automatically tell you, you know, how good and how effective a teacher is. Because not just it is such a lot of social emotional connect for a teacher, right? It is very individual connected with. Yes. So when somebody touches my self-esteem and makes me feel good, I will always cherish the memory of that teacher, right? Because that is what gave me the confidence in my life. Pedagogical content knowledge is very important. I am not taking away the case from that. Your ability to deliver strategies, your lesson planning, all this is very, very important. But what is also important is how well you handhold your teachers, you know. You take them into a group, make them feel wanted, loved, cohesive. Okay, your journey today you have not done well, it's okay. Next time we will perhaps look at it. We are all in it together. If I am able to give them that comfort, if I'm able to tell them, tell my children, it's okay, we're all in it together, right? You are not alone. Next time we can do differently, next time we can do better. I think all this cannot be measured in marks, Radhika. And that's a big mistake that is happening around. Hmm. Which should not happen. So let's design a rubric that helps a teacher uh, enable a child reach its potential. Give me that rubric, and I will say, okay, we should measure teachers' success like this, a teacher's performance like this. Currently, what is happening is completely, I mean, unacceptable to me. But what is important here is that you develop an ecosystem where the average itself is very high, right? Your bottom line itself is at 75. You can only be among the good, better, best now. Vesa ecosystem, prepare that kind of an ecosystem for a school and a teacher. After I don't have to measure because I know that my teachers are either good or they can be better or they are the best. I don't have any benchmark below that. So if they leave and go, I think it will make the place, it will make the society a better place to live in, right? I'm okay. Absolutely. And I am not behaving responsibly in my position because I am not allowed for growth, right? I cannot be that canopy of shade which doesn't let anything grow under it. More importantly, what if she doesn't, right? Yeah. So my other question here is, so what we can do is an interesting and I mean taking off from we just we can really work on designing a very good tool for enabling teachers to reach that level of performance. No, correct. Huh. Yeah, absolutely. So whenever I used to start professional development in the beginning of the academic year, I would first start with aligning your own vision with the vision of the organization. First you align yourself, then you see where it is, and then you see make those connects with the vision of the organization, and then see how you wish. Then you set your goals. Then you set your goals, in alignment with your personal vision and the vision of the organization. And then you will see that there is some kind of journey that you can make personally for the organization and for the society at large. Once a teacher is able to see this mapping, I think after that she's on a roll. She's on an auto process for this. The person and the profession cannot be removed. So that is giving us a lot of ideas for the next podcast. Maybe an interesting, what to say, a conversation about how a teacher can raise herself, her performance. And I think we also yes, go. We'll also give it thought to develop an enabler, an enabler rubric, so that they are moving from one level to the other level without without feeling any less or more than the others, because each one is carrying out a personal journey. Yeah, sign off now. Yes. So let's do one thing. Let's have a good closure to this so that the rest of it can be edited. So I think, Radhika, we have kind of established the need for professional development. No, we have not invented anything new. This conversation has been happening for decades. I am just reiterating it. You have also reiterated the need for professional development. And there are various aspects from which we can start out. And I would also like to look at what teachers want. Maybe we can invite some teachers to share suggestions on what is it that they would like conversations about. And maybe in our subsequent podcast, we can also invite some interesting, what to say, educators, or people who are interested in sharing their experiences. And from there, we can take off. And also, case studies is what I was thinking. Interesting case studies can be brought forth in this podcast, and we can understand collectively how we will be able to offer solutions to difficult cases or challenges or obstacles, as the case may be. That will bring more value to the teacher, is what I feel. Yeah. Okay, now we have got enough material for the next podcast. No, there's an exit button, right? The red one. Okay, so all right. Yes. So, yes, Radhika, you start. Principles for Teachers is your platform, girls. Make the best use of it. And we hope to bring more and more content and clarity on many situations that we all face in schools. Bye. Bye, Radhika. Bye. All right. Shall we sign out? Bye.